Hey everyone, welcome back to Simply Blessed Crafts. I'm Tiffany and I'm so happy you're here. I'm not going to waste any time. We're just going to get right into the DIYs. So DIY number one, and I apologize ahead of time. This project's pretty long and it took me forever to do. I picked this up a while back for $3. I didn't actually record this part, but I did go over this entire tray with Mod Podge first before I went over it with Waverly ink chalk paint. This tray was actually really glossy. Like the finish they had on it was really glossy, and I wanted to make sure that my paint was going to stick. So right now you're just seeing me going over it with the black paint, and then I grab my heat gun and dry it, and then I go over it with Rust-Oleum white chalk paint, just trying to cover up the pink and the checkered board look. This project was a hot mess, you guys. It did not turn out the way it was supposed to. I changed my plan like 3 times. And I do show you some of it. I'm hoping it doesn't get too long for you, and I hope I don't bore you. But I had little Sylvie came to say hi to everybody. But I had a bunch of these. They're rice paper, and they're just a couple little images. I picked a bunch of them with like butterflies and trees and like grass, and I mean just a bunch of random ones with butterflies, anything that looks spring. And this is how actually they came to me. And the little booklet or whatever. So I'm just kind of peeling a couple more out. That would be good. The reason why I changed this, like I thought it would be really cute to do a whole decoupage thing, but with the texture of the paper, I was just having issues with them when they would kind of get overlapped. Excuse me. Like around the edges of where they would overlap, they got really bubbly, and they weren't sticking quite right. I had to use a lot of Mod Podge for it, and I didn't have stability if you were to carry this tray out to the living room or something with something on it. I wanted it to be able to, you'd be able to put stuff on it and it would work really well. Well, I wasn't sure exactly how much the bubbling of the paper would affect that, and it was bugging me. So I do that for a while, and then I decided I was going to rip it all up because I didn't like how it was turning out. So I went over it with another thing of Mod Podge just to cover up where the paint was, and then I painted it white again. And here I'm just trying to dry it, thinking that it was dry. I grabbed some of these transfers. I have used these before in another DIY. Excuse me. But I thought the whole tray would look really cool. So I laid it down and tried to grab my rubbing tool and tried to rub this transfer on there. Oh, excuse me. I'm starting to get the hiccups. But this didn't turn out either. Like I said, I don't know if my paint wasn't dry or not, but right here should have been my first clue, because it doesn't usually stick like that. When you pull up on the corner of it, it usually pulls up pretty gentle. And this one I kind of had to pry it up. It just wasn't sticking. And no matter how much I tried rubbing it down, it just wasn't transferring. So I peeled it up, and again, it peeled up some paint. So obviously my paint wasn't dry. So I was getting really frustrated. I grabbed some more Mod Podge and put a light coat on there, and I decided that I was going to put this birch paper in there. I got this from my mom. She bought it at a garage sale. She got 2 rolls, and she gave me one. So here I'm just finishing with the Mod Podge, and I'm putting it down. I do end up going over it again with Mod Podge and actually put it on the wallpaper because it still wasn't sticking. Like I didn't have enough Mod Podge on there. This stuff's pretty thick, so. And then here I'm kind of pulling it up and going over it. You can kind of see that I'm doing that. But then I decided I was going to go over top of it too to just give you that extra layer on top to make it sure that it was going to stick down. And I liked this a lot better. I'm actually glad I went to this. It still wasn't up to my par because along the sides and stuff, there was a bunch of paint that was still peeling on it and stuff. It just wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. But anyway, DIY number 2, I got these 2 wood rounds from Dollar Tree. I apologize, guys. I actually got them from Target. They were a pack of 2. I'm just taking off the little hanger. These ones are actually, technically it'd be 2 projects, but I showed you both because they're both the same. So I'm just going over the top of them with ivory chalk paint, I believe it is. I do go over it with 2 coats to make sure all the lettering and the black is covered. If you haven't guessed yet, I'm going to make a couple of risers out of these. I just set it aside so it would dry some. And then I got this candlestick. I've had this in my stash for a while, probably since like last year. I bought it at a garage sale for probably like $1 or something. Might even be a little bit less, I'm not sure. But I'm just going over with the same ivory paint. I only go over it with 1 coat because I decided I was going to go over it with mineral chalk paint after. Got my heat gun, making sure all my stuff's dry. Here I am going over it with mineral. And I do believe I do like 1.5 coats of this on there just to make sure I got a good coverage on it. I was also debating on which side to glue down, if I wanted the bigger side or the smaller side. I didn't know what kind of base to have at the bottom, but I do decide to put the bigger side on the back of my wood round, so. Probably should have cut more of that out. Here I'm going on top of it with some E6000. I want to make sure that this sticks really well for a long time. And then I do go over it with some more hot glue as well, just to make sure that it sticks quickly. I wanted the immediate hold. And then by accident, I actually speckled a couple little specks on there when I was painting the bottom of this. So I decided I was going to do a speckling look on top. So that's what I'm doing there. So it was completely by accident. So this one I got for 50 cents at a garage sale. And I'm just basically doing the same thing. This one I actually went over with Mod Podge first because it was glossy. And then I went over it with the mineral paint. And again, going in with some E6000. And then I'll have my hot glue on there as well. And then we glue it down. And that I actually pulled up, and there was a couple of specks on that one from the wet paint from when I painted it. So, again, it worked out to my advantage. I thought these turned out super nice. DIY number 3. This one didn't take me long at all, but I have no idea what kind of glue they used to glue that down, but it was gross. And I did grab a Clorox wipe and wipe it down, but I couldn't get that glue to come up. I got it to clean up a little bit, but it wasn't nothing like I wanted it to. I went over it with some plaster chalk paint, I believe it was. And then I'm just going over it with a light coat of Mod Podge. And then I got these napkins from Amazon a while back. And I thought the little cow would have been super cute on here. So I just peeled up the second layer of the napkin and I just Mod Podged it down. Getting it all smooth. And then I grab my heat gun and dry it some so it doesn't peel up. It's really delicate stuff, so be careful if you do it. You don't want it to rip. But here I'm just ripping off all the excess, and then I grab my sanding block from Dollar Tree and I'm just going around the edges to get the excess off. And then here I use some more E6000 in the little corners. And then my hot glue to get it to stick good. And I stick it down. And that's really all I did with that. Super cute. DIY number 4. Okay, so this one again, guys, was a hot mess. I probably actually showed you way too much of this. I got this from the Boys and Girls Club. I hauled it probably about a month ago. And it had this lace on it, and I do not know what kind of glue they used for this, but it was horrible to get off. It wasn't coming up right. A lot of it was sticking. And I couldn't get the glue off either. It was so hard. It was a hard glue. Tried doing it with a screwdriver, trying to peel it off, and then I went in with a scraper. That didn't work. Did going with a sanding block, and that didn't work. I tell you, it was a mess. But I only paid $1.49 for this, so I guess it was kind of worth the hard work. It was cheap. And it does turn out super cute when it's done. But I do eventually realize that, hey, glue, hot gun, I use my heat gun to heat it up and then kind of pry off the excess of it. And I do show you that. I just didn't realize. I should have cut out more of this, guys, and I apologize. I was struggling The struggle is real. So there I showed you the price tag, $1.49. And this is kind of where I realized, oh hey, glue, since I can get the glue up from the sticker, maybe it'll work for this. Well, yeah, of course it does. So here I am, I got my little screwdriver and I'm just kind of scraping all that glue and excess lace off of it. I still didn't get it all completely off of there either. I got all the lace off, but that glue is a nightmare. It would just smear and goo up, and I got majority of it off, but it still kind of was rough, like along the carrying dowel rod and stuff. You can kind of feel that it's a little rough. Not like splinter worthy, but it felt like it just feels like rough wood. So, but for the most part, here I'm now going in with a scraper tool trying to get off the excess, but I eventually just gave up on most of it, but it does look a lot better. And then I'm just going over the whole thing, 2 coats with Waverly Ivory, I believe it is. Give it all a good paint job. So let me know what you guys' favorites are. I want to hear what you guys like. What's your favorites? Give me some comments down below. Let me know where you're from. I'd like to know where my listeners are from. It'd be great to get to know you guys. So anyway, I got more of these transfers, and I picked out a few of them that I like, and I put one on each side of it. You just do the same thing that I was showing you earlier, is you just rub down. This one's actually going to turn out though. So all of them come with that little plastic scraper tool, and you just scrape it on. You grab the corner and it peels right up. And then here is the other one. I love those little roses. I thought those turned out really pretty. And then I wanted to add a little bit extra to it. It just seemed like it was missing something, so I picked out a couple of flowers. I really liked this rosebud in here. Sorry, I'm out of frame. I'm just cutting it out. And I put it on there to where it looked like it was coming right out of the little picture. So I just rubbed my rose on there. Super cute, guys. I was thinking about putting some like Spanish moss or something in there and putting some succulents. And I still might do that, but I didn't do it for this video. These flowers I thought were really pretty. They're kind of like a purple bluish color. So that turned out really nice. DIY number 5. This one's just a really simple project. I just grabbed one of those little crates, or pallets, I guess, from Dollar Tree. and some antique wax and a baby wipe, and I'm just staining it basically. I did go over the sides, all 4 sides of it, but I didn't worry about like in the little nooks and crannies of them. I just left that. It didn't bother me. So, and I didn't do the back of it either. I got this little pack of animals, like all a bunch of farm animals from Hobby Lobby, and I chose the little pig. Grabbed some folk art pink paint, but it just wasn't light enough for me. I think it was like baby pink or something. So I added a little bit of a Waverly ivory chalk paint in there just to lighten it up. I wanted it a little bit lighter, kind of like a piggy color. So I just painted the little piggy, the front of it. Anyway, I didn't paint the sides and I didn't paint the back. I liked the natural like cut out wood color on there, so I left that. So I just painted the front of him, give him one good paint color, and then I just glued him down on there, kind of centered him. And then after he dried, I went in with a Sharpie marker and my honed handwriting, and I wrote, "You're the bacon to my eggs." I loved how he turned out. I thought he turned out cute. And that is it, guys. That's the final reveal. I love how these two turned out. One is taller than the other. Really liked how that worked. But I thank you guys so much, you guys, for watching, and I appreciate your guys' support and everything. If you like what you see, give me a comment down below. Tell me which one's your favorite. If you would give me a like, that would be fabulous. And I would love it if you guys subscribe and join my family. I really appreciate it, guys, and I hope you enjoyed what you've seen. I can't wait to read your comments and interact with you guys. But that is it.